God made everything in 6 days. That's what he said in the 10 Commandments. And we think the evolution theory is the dumbest and most dangerous religious cult in the history of the world.
Okay, so this is going to be a long one. Just had a huge breakthrough. I know my posts on Facebook have been a bit weird. We got Kenthoven debating a scientist, because we're all on Kenthoven's side and we want dinosaurs to live with man. Cool. Anyhow, so to get to where I am now, and the breakthrough came with extra energy. Like right now I would be usually having my afternoon nap and I don't need it anymore. It's a massive breakthrough. 3 days in a row I haven't had a sleep in the daytime, so this is weird, but I understand why. So I'll go into everything. What I'll do is I'll go into everything while the camera's foggy, or is it my glasses that are foggy? So I had to spend, so it's July and I've wasted half a year to people who want me to stop being sick and get a real job and cut my hair and all that. I've wasted half a year, but to me I had to unlearn Better Than Nostradamus, P.S. Diary of a Freemason. You'll hear flat earthers saying that only Freemasons are allowed to the Antarctica because of the Antarctic Treaty, and space is fake and NASA are covering it. Most of their versions of the evil Freemasons come from this book, and the hoax, Leo Taxel, I think his name was, the hoax, Yes, Satan is God. If you read Barry's book, he's got the Taxel quote in his book. Yes, Satan is God. If he were not, would A.D.O.L.O.G be spreading lies about him? The question of Freemasonry, again, the Flat Earth Bible comes from that. So everything is evil. Every time you wear a necklace, it's evil. Of course, we've got the worst religion of them all. Evolution is a religion created just so people go to hell, and thank God that Kenthoven is fighting the battle against these evil, demonic evolutionists.
Dinosaurs always lived with man.
So we've got YEC killing babies, cutting up fetuses, all that sick stuff you can think of. Chuck Missler, the guy that started my new life. Everything I was taught about all my new hobbies, physics, for everything I have to learn about the new stuff, I have to unlearn this stuff.
I also discovered there's skeletons of giants that have been reported in the ancient literature. And I won't go through all of these. There's 300-foot ones in the 14th century, 105 but mentioned by Plutarch. 80-foot Orion was 46 cubits in height, according to Pliny. Who knows? And it goes on and on. So these are, again, provocative possibilities that may at least suggest there were some strange creatures running around loose on the earth.
Gomorrah and the sins of these angels, in that they were doing that which is unnatural. Sodom and Gomorrah, homosexuality. We're all familiar with that.
I mean, okay, Chuck gets the people's names right and the inventions that they did. He got that right. But he lied about the outcome of their experiments, their theories, their dogma. If you listen to Ken Ham, Einstein was just dogma, and he's brainwashed you into believing in gravity. And sorry, it's just a mess. My mind is a mess. Warning. Oh, I get to play with my histories. I've got the whole entire horrible history collection. the whole time I was coming out of this tunnel. Yeah, because that's what I was going to write about. I'll be honest, 10 years ago I was going to write about how women have taken over the world, because that was Satan's plan. I mean, a lot of churches still teach that today, but I had a picture of a tunnel, so the men go in and the women come out. I won't say any more than that. It's pretty disgusting what I was taught in regards to gender and things. This is way before even the homosexual law reform bill. This is way back. So yeah, that one was a deep one, dug right in deep. What do we got? So all religions are evil except for Protestant. Here's the cure from Benny Hinn. This is from Benny Hinn Ministries. Here is your cure for depression and anxiety. So throw away those depression medication, the anxiety medication. The fact that I ended up on 3 different types of anxiety med is relevant, because if only I'd read this book, I would have been cured. You know, all religions are evil. Mormons, the Jehovah Witnesses. I scored this for like, how much was it? I don't know, but it's bigger than the one I originally had. We were encouraged to buy these to read them so we could witness to Jehovah's Witnesses and get them saved in Jesus' name. Oh, more horrible histories. I've got to get all my horrible histories together. Oh, I've got no room to put it. Yeah, all religions are evil. Oh yeah. Should have lost the headphones there, sorry. The Bible, the numerics of the Bible, proving that the Bible is the inherent word of God. Oh, there's the cover. Oh God, I can start my life now. Here it is. This will come up in a few minutes. The seal of God. So I was very, very happy that Andrew decided that he would let me buy this book. This is in Bethany Elam in Penrose. This was George Curl. This was sold to me during a George Curl meeting. Now, George Curl is 2005 Reasons Why Jesus Will Come in 2005. Don't you dare question it. The fact that it's 2021 is irrelevant. We're probably all dead and we're just fantasizing that we're all alive. So I knew nothing. See, was I at university at this time? 1990, I don't know. But even if I was, because these books, this and Chuck Missler, dig into the Greek and the Hebrew behind the text of the Bible to prove that the Bible numerics proves the existence of God, because Genesis 1 adds up to 49 and 777 and blah, 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 blah.
If you go to the book of Genesis, starting in the upper right-hand corner, go to the first tau, or T, and count 49 letters, you come to a Vav. Then you count 49 letters again, you come to a Resh. And then you count 49 letters again, you come to a Hey, which in the Hebrew spells Torah.
Again, the Book of Mormon, I bought this so I could witness to Mormons and get them saved in Jesus' name. Holy God. Yeah, I gotta keep these just I don't know, just for fun. I'm never gonna read them. So we've got our Creation, Ex Nihilo. These books prove that all scientists are evil. Now, here's the thing I've noticed over the last couple of days, debunking creationists. So luckily, Aaron Ra is taken on God, as in Kent Hovind, prisoner, inmate 604, whatever. All scientists are evil. is the belief of the young earth creationist movement. And what I've noticed, when they say scientists are evil for believing in evolution, you've got to realize, or I have to realize, that only about 4% of scientists believe in 6004 BC. The best known chronological system based on the biblical data is that of Archbishop James Ussher, 1581-1656, who computed the date of creation as 4004 BC. Oh, that's why I put 6000. Okay, so it was Ussher's date was 4004. So going to my old The Red Book mentality when I was right into believing and buying into all this garbage, 4004 plus the year 2000 means the earth is only 6004 years old now. So you can't deny that. How dare you? So then there's the, oh yeah, another one, Quran. Buy that to witness to Coranists, I mean Muslims. I've got the bug, oh yeah, it's here. I've got all the enemy's books here. The Bhagavad Gita, I'll hold it up when I find it. A lot of even within the religion of Christianity, there are lines as to what is traditional, what is mainstream, what is accepted by the majority of. Now, I won't say theologians, because the Christian world I grew up in taught that theologians are evil. Bonhoeffer, the guy that wrote my Bible, forgotten, sorry, it'll come to me. Theologians are evil, therefore they don't learn theology. These mainstream pastors, the mega churches, they don't do theology. Theology is evil. So I was at university going to VCC, and they encouraged me to quit going to university because going to university leads you away from God. And now I know why. Science. So I collected a few of the outside of the indoctrination world of Christianity that I was stuck in, mainly end times and young earth creationism, and I was in the habit of collecting outside of the cult that I was in books. So Herbert W. Armstrong, this is about the pre-Adamic race and Lucifer's flood. These are the guys, this teaching is the teaching behind First Light, the channel on First Light. Now, the other day they had a brilliant thing on First Light. I came in to boil the jug, and they were talking about how homosexuality is creeping into the churches and stuff. So, you know, it's my dad's favourite channel. Now I know why. And then there's the gal rippling stuff. Just chuck them on the floor. I need a bit of exercise. There's how I get my exercise. So you've got all the wacko ones. You've got Gal Riplinger. You've got Constance Cumby. You've got, what's his name again? Stephen Dollins. All about Parry Hotter, which I have totally walked away from any conspiracy theories or anything at all in any shape or form to do with Parry Hotter. I won't even say his name properly. So Constance Cumby, Barbara Thiering. I haven't got a book here in this room. Sorry, apologies. Gal Riplinger. And this snake oil is the beginning of my Orange Light book collection. This is, if you use the name Jesus, you're going to hell. You have to use Yeshua. And if you use the word God, you're going to hell. You have to use the word Yahweh. So again, I was studying Hebrew at the time, and I wrote a little email saying that the vowel pointing suggested that it was Elohim and Yahweh, but I got a very nasty email back. But, oh yeah, the guy that runs this movement, okay, explain. These are English people, European English people, pretending that they were miraculously changed into Jews through the Holy Spirit. Right? Got that? Because Jeff, my friend Jeff, wouldn't believe me that that's what is happening. But Tom Dickard is a European, he was Polish, but God miraculously turned him into a Jew. So he was the last Jewish prophet before the end of the world. Unfortunately, he passed away after getting many women pregnant in the name of Yeshua. So I really need to talk about this properly. So my whole new life. Okay, so are we ready? Are we ready? We're all ready? Sure you're ready? Oh, lost the headphones again. Sorry, I've lost my headphones. I want to do a complete one. Another creation magazine. Skeptics versus creationists. So skeptics just means scientists versus those who know the truth. Bone of contention is here. Is evolution true? No, it's not. Scientists bury, this is the teaching of some creationists, scientists bury these monkey bones in the ground and dig them up as Lucy's. One thing that is, I've come across that I never believed, but there's a group of people that believe scientists hoax dinosaurs to prove evolution. And that's one that was so bizarre I never heard about it. Okay, so my new life begun at a garage sale just a couple of weeks ago. I've done so much, it's unbelievable. I can't keep track of what I've done because I've just overloaded my brain. I've worn myself out. I just wrecked my brain. I still leave the keys in the car, or the car and the keys, either one will do. So at a garage sale I got physics, I got mathematics. Actually, that's not quite true. First is I started learning C, C++, Java, JavaScript, Fortran, COBOL, Python, and all the other ones. I started watching them all at once, and it was like an addiction. I was getting some sort of drug from doing it, therefore I didn't stop doing it, and I overloaded my brain and I couldn't make a cup of coffee. So that was number one. So now, be honest, I cannot even look at a programming YouTube video or pick up one of my books. I cannot mentally go there because I've burnt myself out trying to learn all the programming languages all at once. So it may be a couple of years before I even go back to that. So can't reach it. So then I started learning about electronics, atoms, quarks, up-down quarks, sideways quarks, electronics, electricity, the invention of discovery of electricity, the invention of the telephone, the invention of film, the invention of microphones, how they work, how electrons flow through things, causing things to make sounds or be captured onto a photograph or a bunch of photographs, maybe even a horse galloping. There's a movie, a Zixiscope, whatever. So during my overload of physics and trigonometry and chemistry I got the material for T.O.M.M, and so for 2 weeks I couldn't get to page 1 because I'd overloaded my brain with physics, trigonometry, Galileo, the laws of Newton, Einstein's theory of relativity, the general theory of relativity. So overloaded my brain. So now I'm doing T.O.M.M and nothing else because my brain just can't cope. I know that I was called an R at school, but again, chronic fatigue causes my brain to go foggy. I was hit by a car, cracked my skull open. There's been some brain damage in there, so reality, but reality versus those who want me to cut my hair and get a real job and stop being lazy. So if I do that, will I be just pleasing them? So yeah, I'm stuck on a lot of stuff right at the moment because I have overloaded my brain. So I've got a whole entire train for CJ to put together. He's done one, but he hasn't been out because my brain's being used for so much that my other personalities are just not coming out. Nicola came out at the poetry night, so she's still there, but you know. Okay, so new life, bit of electronics slowly. What's an oscillator? What's a multimeter? How does electricity work? How does electricity flow? The fun side is watching that guy blow up televisions and microwaves and stuff. So there's always a fun side to everything. So why have I chosen, so I'm learning T.O.M.M, why have I chosen to overload myself to go back to Greek and Hebrew? Video number 3. Kent, watch video number 3. You'll know why evolution's a lie. So why have I gone back to my Greek and my Hebrew? And the reason is HINDUISM. There's another page. I've done all these charts, so there's nothing much to do except the charts. I just have to correct the spelling in the charts that I've made back in the 90s and 2010. Was it 2010 or 11 when the quake happened? So I was studying this when the quake happened, and I had no mental ability to continue. So one of my goals is to finish the Greek. I've done the Bachelor of Arts level 1, 2 and 3 of Hebrew. I failed everything else, but I'm happy that I got level 1, 2 and 3 in Hebrew at a university level, and I want to do that with Greek. Where's my Latin dictionary? Ugh. Nothing's organised. You can watch this on full speed. No. I'll hold it up when I find it. So why have I gone back to learn Greek and Hebrew? Because everything's been done, it just needs fixing. And the thing is, I mean, $70 for this, $50 for the analytical Greek New Testament. Here's a guy that spent his entire life and his wife's entire life parsing every single word in the New Testament. So, aorist, dative, first, here we go. Let's be a bit nerdy. So, verb, indicative, present, active, nominative, masculine, first person, singular? Or is it a subjunctive verb, imperfect, middle, genitive, feminine, second person, plural? So the only reason I'm going back to the Greek and the Hebrew is to parse. Now, I have this idea, and I don't want to give it away because it's to do with the novel that I'm writing. It's based on something that has power that nobody's really confronted before. So they could have some sort of magical power in this world I'm creating. And because it's my own world, it's so bloody difficult because I'm so free, and yet under the old days I was so brainwashed thinking I was the smartest person on the planet that I wasn't free. I was in the cage. When you read my Jagan story, in the concrete cage. I was in the concrete cage. I wrote a story about my life that I didn't know I wrote it, and now I know why. So that's the hardest book in the world. So I'm going back to, we've got Plato, Arian, all the penguin books I bought at uni. I've kept them because I spent a hell of a lot of money on it. It's my passion. I just haven't done anything about it for 28 years because too much other crap was in the way. So don't know who that is. Isn't that Tacitus? Doesn't say. Lies the letters Caesars. Type it in the comments. Suetonius, 12 Caesars. This is about Tibby cutting someone in half during the life of Christ. He was the emperor. At the same time, whether Jesus was fictional or not, you can decide that. Homer's the Iliad. So I've got the audio book, and God is boring. I honestly, like, we translated bits of this in class, but to hear it read, I mean, it is LibriVox. So I think there's an audible version. It might be more exciting the way they speak it, but after watching Seven and downloading Dante's Inferno and the Divine Comedy and all that. By the way, while I can remember this, everything in my life is based around the movie Seven. It's the core to everything. So that's why I just remembered I was supposed to do this back in the day, but I've downloaded the Divine Comedy and Shakespeare's tragedy, whatever, and I've listened to them, and God, they're boring. By themselves as a standalone. So yeah, the greatest writings of all time are good to study but boring to read. Caesar, book written by Caesar himself, Julius Maximus Marcianus Tiberius Caesar. I'll tell you in a minute. So here's me $80 Brown Driver Briggs Hebrew lexicon. You know, I've walked away, but do I throw all these books? No. I want to use them for something else. I've lost interest in you know what, but Tacitus, the histories. I've spent so much bloody money on them. I've got to do something about them. Dictionary of Foreign English Words. I just bought that because I got a huge penguin collection. Egyptology, got that off Trade Me. Herodotus, the histories. Mega floppy disk. Tacitus, Annals of Imperial Rome. I've got a whole stack of these. Renaissance, 1480 to 1520. Oh, Slow Moving Clock. I've got the whole series in this box underneath me. Reading Greek. Oh, here's the Latin dictionary. So there was a news clip saying that Latin was becoming a dead language again because no people were studying it. So that's why I've decided, I won't give it away too much, but my novel is around translations of Coptic, Bohairic, Mesopotamian, Assyrian cuneiform, hieroglyphics, Latin words, Koine Greek words, Aramaic, Hebrew, Paleo-Hebrew lettering. Don't give it away. The words have magic. That's all I've got to say about my novel. These words are magic. And by the way, a confession now before I start, become famous. It was Margaret Mayhew that sparked that. So give her credit. She did it first. I'm just adding Margaret Mayhew to God and Riplinger. So the formula for Nonsense Town and Semi-Nonsense Town and the novel is Margaret Mayhew / Gail Riplinger. Give them the credit where credit is due. More Greek. Geez, you're going to have to clean up your room. More Greek. Man, I dug through op shops. This is from back in the day when I was doing Greek. Greek New Testament. That's for the class. I bought that for the class. Greek primer. I mean, this is funny because this is the material required for the exam, and yet I bought these little books for like $1 each, and it's got stuff in there that isn't in the official university material. So as a bit of a joke, because I've got the two big ones, I'm gonna have a look at these old books. Here they are. Okay, they're all together. So we've got a Greek and a Hebrew book, and it's got stuff in it that was never in the course notes, never in any of the material. It's so technical. It's just wow. So as a bit of extra, I'm going to add these stuff from these two books. Here's the Bible that doesn't exist. According to God and Riplinger, the Septuagint was never written. And another thing for you King James alias, the King James original 1611 has the Apocrypha in it. So this is the old, I got that wrong, this is the Old Testament translated to Greek. The Codex Alexandrinus, the Codex Alex, Sinaiticus, the Codex Vaticanus, has the Shepherd of Hermes and Judith and Tobit and stuff. When Gail says that those books are evil, she doesn't realise that they're in her 1611 King James Version of the Holy Bible, come directly from Jehovah himself. No man was used in the writing of the King James Holy Socks Bible. It floated down from heaven. Now you know. What else we got? More Greek. My book. Lost the headphones. Help. Hebrew. I'm just going to show up every single book I own. The Leviticus book. Now I bought this. Be honest. I bought this to feel superior to other Christians that didn't know Greek, didn't know Hebrew, and I was trying to get into it. As technical as this book, and I never understood it. Now I can understand it, which is ironic because I don't need it anymore, but it's good fun because it's going to be inspiration for my novel. How are you going to get a novel from Greek, Latin, Aramaic, Coptic? There's the mystery. My course material for Rome. Roman history 112.01, was it? I still got my notes. You love showing off your books. Early Greece, course reading material, and Plutarch, full of Roman Republic. I bought these ones. All the penguins were new because I was using somebody else's money. Student loan. Ah, right, yeah. Gotta pay back your student loan one day, eh? Don't forget about that. Doctor Who. Oh yeah. So, as a fundamentalist, young Earth creation, end times believer, it's post-tribulation. I was post-trib, if you just want to know. So the pre-tribbers are evil, the mid-tribbers are evil, the post-tribbers are correct and holy and are going to heaven. If you don't believe in the post-trib, then you're going to hell. Is that how it works? Yeah. So I bought the Enemy's books back when I was a fundamentalist, young Earth creationist, Barry Smithist. The Enemy's books, Stephen Hawking. Ow, that's the headphones again. Charles Darwin, Origin of the Species. We got Friedrich Nietzsche, Beyond Good and Evil. The reason why pastors hated him is because of the titles of his books. I don't know if they ever read them, but you've got the Antichrist. He just wrote some. Oh God. I mean, I just listened to the Antichrist. It was quite boring, actually. It was a bit silly. I don't know what his point of writing that book was, because what he was saying was true, but in a silly way. He just made a mockery of the whole subject of religion. What the hell is this? I see. Okay, Enemy's book, Richard Dawkins, The Blind Watchmaker. And guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to read the Enemy's books. And I'm going to become a full-blown Satanist by opening up the pages. I'll read one word now. Presumably the hats of the bat's image. There you go. I just read from the Enemy's book. Ken Ham versus Richard Dawkins. No, it was Ken Ham versus Bill Nye. It was the stupidest thing Bill Nye has ever done, because that would point out to the majority of Christians that there is a thing within Christianity called young Earth creationism, and somebody else might have been sucked in and brainwashed by these cult leaders. Call them what they are. They're not out to teach the truth, because they don't teach facts. They use people to do voluntary work, and they don't pay taxes in Kent Hovind's reason is, Kent Hovind's reason is that he works for God, therefore he doesn't need a driver's license, doesn't need to pay tax, doesn't need to register his car or warrant or whatever they do over in the States. So he went to jail for 10 years for it. But he still believes he was correct, and he sued. He's just sued the government for $5 billion or some astronomical number, and the judge threw it out. The judge threw his case out because he's claiming because he worked for God, he's exempt from paying any man, human-made therefore. But, sorry Kent, you lied to me, you brainwashed me. I mean, there he is. He's.
At the beginning, he said all scientists believe A, B, C, D, E.
Wow. All scientists. Good, Kent. All scientists are evil. I'm glad we got that out of the thing. Greek New Testament. The Codex Leningradensis. Now, I still can't remember his name, I'm sorry. The guy that put this together, Kittel. This book was written in 14-something AD, and Kittel just updated it a bit. This is the New Old Testament isn't, because they burnt the ones with mistakes, it hasn't changed. If you compare this from the 11th, 12th century to the Dead Sea Scrolls, it almost matches word for word, because that's what they did. There was in this time that this original book was made, they had scriptorians, and that's what they did, was they copied them out word for word, and if they made a mistake, they'd screw it up and throw it away. That's the Old Testament. There's hardly any textual variants in the Old Testament. There's a few, but not many. It's only the Greek New Testament, because there's so many thousands of manuscripts, of papyri, of codices, minuscules, majuscules, blah 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 schools, Coptic, Latin, well, pre-Latin. Let's go back to the before the 1st century. There's so many different variants. There's so many different manuscripts, and they all have different spellings, different word orders, different everything. So it's a nightmare for the team at New Testament Manuscripts, whatever, CTNSM, forgotten how to pronounce it. That's what they do full time, because, well, that's what this, yeah, okay. That's what this is for. That's the reason why the Greek New Testament has these American Bibles, is it? Sorry, I've got to get this all out. United Bible Society, and see, I found this is a big version of these two books. So I had these books for 5 years. Saw that in the bookshop and bought it. Secondhand Christian bookshop, Hillsborough, where I'm taking all my stuff. So I haven't. It's probably on the floor. My Novum Testamente Graece. The reason that it exists is because there's so many variations in the manuscripts. So when great women of God like Gal Ripplinger come along and say Satanists wrote the Bible, you have to pick out now which Satanist writing which verse are we talking about here. Was it Athanasius? Was it Plato? It could have been Plutarch. People who wrote the papyrus and reality, they don't match in her world. It could be Julius Caesar wrote the New Testament in her world. Love that stuff. It's the fun side that drives the amount of work that I have to do. What have we got here? Dick Tracy. It's got nothing. Blackadder. Ah. Monty Python I love. Goodies I love. Faulty Towers I love. And all the rest. Because I watched them as a child. The Blackadder series, I'm going to blaspheme now, it's not as funny because I didn't see it as a child. I've got to tell you some truth here. In secret, one of my neighbours would put on his mother's Monty Python records, and this is back when The Life of Brian came out, and so in real life, you know, we were anti-Monty Python, but in secret life, I was laughing at these records, loving them, you know, so that was another part of having a double life there, liking Monty Python, but Monty Python is of the devil. So yeah, and that's it. That's all I have to show. We are finished. So I gave myself till the end of this year to complete terreo, physics, trigonometry, Richard Dawkins, Einstein, Stephen Hawking, everything. The fact is that it's going to take 4 or 5 years to get all of this into what I'm creating, and for the last month and a half I've been hating myself every day with all dripping and loathing of because I was so stupid. I was taking too long. So now I understand. For 40 years, I was brainwashed. And I can show you up, hold up the actual book. I would, but it's on the floor now. So what's the difference book? I got that at the age of 5. My Sunday school leader gave it to me, and I never returned it. Sorry, Vicky, I've still got it. Come to my house. I live in blah 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 street. So the indoctrination started when I was 5 years old, with Hindus are evil, Buddhists are evil, Muslims are evil, blah blah blah. So I've been in this world for as long as I've been socially accepted. Actually, socially accepted stopped when I was 19. So the religious abuse went on way longer, because I met Chuck in person in Christchurch. I was his #1 fan. I got his autograph, and it's on the floor. If I didn't show it on the floor, I'd show you his autograph. Oh my God, what a privilege. What a privilege. I had his autograph. I have his autograph. Then when Paramecium came out, oh shit, forgotten the name of the movie. Aliens, the prequel of the prequel, came out. Prometheus? That one. Nicola had come out, and Nicola went to watch the movie, and Chuck Missler and his cronies were standing there, so she ducked her head and hid so that he wouldn't see us, because that would have been too hard to explain. I mean, I had Bill Sabritsky trying to cure me of the gay. I had Barry Smith talking about how evil is the gay, and got lots of healing for curing of the gay. So, well, I suppose I don't want to go there. I just want to forget those years of my life. Absolutely. So this is going to take, so I beat myself up because it's going to take till the end of the year to complete this mission. It's going to take years. So it's taken 40 years to get here, not using my brain, being everything I believed was written in a book. It was somebody else's opinion, somebody else's vision, somebody else's prophecy from God that I was fulfilling. From now on, it's all my brain, all my thinking, all my decisions, all my creativity, all my creating of Nonsense Town, using the puppets, using the finger puppets, animation and everything. It's coming from here, not from a book. So that's why it's going to take years to do. But then you realize it's a whole, I've literally started my life for the second time. And I'm doing now what I've been wanting to do since 1990. Rise Up Together New Zealand, 1990. If you can't speak in tongues, you can't leave this tent. And for God's sake, take that striper t-shirt off. And they ripped my striper t-shirt off and they threw me on the ground. Cast the demon of that Christian metal music in the name of Jesus. So that's enough. I've said everything. Oh my God, how long was that? Fuck knows. 40 minutes. Oh, fuck. So I've gone back to the start of where I started this back in the 90s. And now we have, because the creation of the earth was 4004 BC, we can't have Horus, Sahar and Djir and Diong and Y.E.C.R.A.E.N.A and Do before 4004 BC. So cross out the Sphinx, cross out the Great Pyramids. Goodbye, that's everything. I don't even feel tired. Weird. Bye.
We've been looking frantically to try to find one functioning brain cell in those who believe there's no God and they believe that dumb religion of evolution. So far, we've been unable to locate one single living brain cell. Philosophy of evolution, actually it's a religion We've allowed this religion to take over our school system,